Okay. Okay, I believe we're live. Let me just double check.
I can see that.
Yeah. Can you see we're live?
Yes.
Yeah. We even get the commercial with it as well. Even nice. Nice, isn't it? Going live with commercials. So how we doing, Bermane?
I'm great. Doing great. Feeling great.
Good, 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 good. So, where are you?
Right now, I'm in what you call a spa.
Is it
You
Floyd
know,
Mayweather's?
no, it's not. I'm pretty sure he's been here before.
So what's been going on? What you been up to?
Nothing working. We coming down with the hard working. So now it's pretty much just to get a sweat. The hard work is done. So now everything goes down a little bit, and a lot of rest and massages, stuff like
Did you manage to see RoboCop, as you call him?
that. I haven't seen him,
You ever
but
see RoboCop? You know.
he fought. It
Yes, he
was.
fought.
I don't know what happened. What happened?
Uh, he was like you described, for the most part, pretty stiff. Pretty robotic, as you said. Lewison was he had 11 weeks to prepare, and I was perplexed that he looked so overweight. I was shocked. I was like, "Hold, you've got 11 weeks to prepare for a fight, and yet you're still overweight." I couldn't understand it. And Joyce didn't seem to punch with much power at all. I didn't know. He just seemed like he wasn't following through with his shots. He seemed very much light punching. Wasn't nothing heavier in it, but hey, I mean, Lewison kept pulling up his trousers all the time, kept pulling up his shorts all the time. He spent more time pulling up his shorts than throwing punches. So it wasn't a great fight, but you know he got the win, and it's good for him to move on with his career now. So yeah, it was
I wish him well.
it is what it is. So what do you do now? I mean, obviously, we're a week away from the fight now. So what do you do with yourself now?
Like I said, get a little bit of sweat on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, keep you know doing a little more sprints and not so much long runs,
Yeah.
just to keep the heart rate, working. Um, Other than that, is massages and make sure I hydrate a lot and you know rest pretty much.
So the massaging, was that something you were doing like for the first fight, or is this something new you're doing now?
I've done it for the first part, but not as much as I'm doing it now.
I mean, are you feeling the benefits for that?
Yeah, my flexibility is way better.
Yeah.
Way better. So there's things that I would do or the way I would move in the ring. It would be it's not as hard or for me to move. It's just natural.
Cool. I mean, do you assess your flexibility from where you were to where you are, and can you see the benefits of the, more of the, or they call them alternative medicines and the all that sort of stuff, and using the massages and stuff? You see the benefits of that more in your life because you've made those
Yeah.
adjustments.
Now that I mean before that I wouldn't because I was never somebody that was flexible. So I never really care about being flexible. But now that I my flexibility is 70-80% better than the way it was. I can see the benefit and I can feel better. You know.
Like, I saw some of those exercises you're doing, like with the balls and like doing those sort of small things you've done in training that we've been allowed to see. those things have been. You see, there's a difference in your training camp and the approach you've taken.
Yeah, very much. It's also the workouts I've been doing, the way I've been doing my conditioning and the workout of special muscles, and even my workouts was concentrated was based on my flexibility.
Hmm.
So that's now that now the way I feel right now, I see what they they were talking about. So before when they have you doing it and it's hard and you get annoyed, you get mad, you can't do it, But now that it's the end and I'm pretty much I pretty much did the work and I can see the benefit and the you know how helpful it is right now.
So if you were to kind of like sit in a room and talk with yourself back then, defending your title, or a week before, where you are now, a Friday night before the week before you defending your title, and a week before now you challenging for your same title, your old title.
I would
What would
change
the
it I would change everything 100%. Everything I did.
what would the conversation be like?
Uh,
Let's put it this way: could you stay in the same room as that person?
would I would stay in a room in that same person?
Yeah, and to say, could you stay in the room with the person you are now, the person before? Could you stay in the same room with them in terms of ideologies?
Um, Perhaps. Maybe. Would I? That's a good question.
Well, it's like, for example, like there are elements in my own life. I'd say, look, 5 years ago, there are things I did then that I think, so, boy, I would never do them things anymore. Or even like, for example, being married 7 years or 8 years now, being married. I think about the people I dated previously and think there's no way a person like that could be my life today. Or I could never
Right.
be that person I was then. So you've had like a few years to look back now or look forward to who you were, to who you are now. Could you say, well, the adjustments I've made in my life has made me a better person for it, or I don't really want to look at that person no more, or that person that I was 2 years ago
Well,
is not?
no, I can't say that because if it wasn't for that person that I was, I wouldn't be able to be the person I am today.
I mean, everyone says that, but some people say
You
that
know.
and they say it as cliche, and other people say because they really like, I can't stand the person I was before, because you
Right.
know how much the person cost you.
Right. But it's I guess is learning from your mistakes.
Hmm.
You really have to learn from your mistakes. If that's something that that's not done, or you haven't been able to learn from your mistakes. Personally, me, I had a bunch of like you said, a bunch of conversation with myself,
Mm.
but I never answered myself. I
Oh,
just
I
had a
have.
conversation with
I
myself.
have. I've had the question and the answer. But you know what? I never liked the answer. I never liked the answer.
No, but I had a few conversations. Yeah, these are the even though you're having it with yourself, is these are like tough conversations, or
Yeah.
sometimes you attempt to avoid asking you yourself this, certain questions. But I mean, when you really humble yourself and you actually ask those tough questions that to yourself, and not the answer, but obviously to try to find an answer,
Hmm.
and actually, you can have a conversation, you can answer yourself, but the thing that's the most important is to do something about it. I can answer you all day, every day, but I can still sit on my seat and not do shit about it. But the
But what
the
makes you
real
make that
thing,
difference?
you know, probably you know, it's really the things that you dedicate your life to. You know, for me personally, I think boxing have taken for the past maybe 17 or 18 years. I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about my professional career, but also my amateur career. Boxing has taken so much out of my life that it's not. It's boxing becomes your life. It's such a selfish sport that don't allow you to do what you really want to do, whether it's good or bad or whatever it is. So
Mm.
you really have to have a, you know, I guess find yourself and really ask yourself if you really, really want to do this. You know,
When I look at you, I see. Well, I look at myself first. I'll give you an example. I People say, "Where do you come from?" I say, "Well, all right. Well, I'm born in the UK, but my family are from the islands. So I, I don't. I go to the islands, but they say I'm an Englishman. I come to England, and they tell me you're not an Englishman. You're from the islands. So I'm neither from the islands.
confused.
I'm, I'm from nowhere land. So for you, I mean, depending on what article you're reading, you're either the Canadian, you're the Haitian, or you're the guy that's the Haitian that lives in America, or you're the Haitian that, or the American that fought in Canada. What do you see yourself as?
When it comes to uh, saying that I am this or I'm trying to represent this or picking a country or some kind of race, I'm not really trying to use politics when it comes to that. So I I, I like to stay neutral.
Okay, so in that case,
Of course, of course, I was born in Haiti.
yeah.
I called myself the Haitian representative, but deep down inside, I like to represent. I like to represent, all kinds of people, especially people with struggle. You
Yeah.
know, people with struggle, poor people, people that never had anything, people that that's what I would like to represent. And to let people know that um, always open wherever you come from, especially from where I come from.
Mm.
Is always a chance that you can make it, and probably up to the point in my life where I had just to refer to what you were asking me earlier, where I had to ask and talk to myself was when I was actually started to visit the sick kids at the hospital, going back to Haiti, and work with the kids, the orphan that lost their mother and parents, the whole family at the earthquake, visiting Miami Children's Hospitals. That's when I started to have a lot of ask myself a lot of questions. Because no matter what issue I have in my life today, I can never compare them to. I'm a parent, so I can never compare myself to the people I've seen and visit, the people that's in the hospital or the kids that's in the hospital.
Mm.
No matter what I'm going through right now, I can never compare that to these people that's actually going through a lot of downfalls. Some I remember this kid I went to visit last year at the Miami Children's Hospital, and he just passed away maybe a month ago. You know, and he was a strong kid, and he just passed away. And just to see the mother, and you know, so you gotta ask. At some point, you gotta ask yourself, like, when you see things like that, you really gotta ask yourself, and don't take your whatever you have for granted.
Yeah.
Whether you have a lot or a little bit or not enough, these people don't have anything, or these people lost everything. So it's not something that you whatever you have is. I'm just saying, just don't take it for granted.
This this is a difficult question because I can't speak from that perspective, and for you, when you were champion and you had the green belt and you know, people assume, make assumptions, he's a world champion, he must make a lot of money, he's got endorsements, blah 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 blah. When you were back in Haiti, did you ever feel any way, either guilty or feel slightly, you know, in any sort of way that, oh, I've got more than they have, I should give them everything? Or how does that make you feel? How did you
I don't.
deal with those
I don't.
matters?
Of course not, because when I went there, it was to give back.
Right.
Now if I would have went there and don't give back, just to, you know, for a show or whatever, you know, um, I'm not. This is not my intention. Um, those kids, I grew up just like them. Thank God um, my parents are still in my life. Both of my parents are still together, and to see, even though I struggled when I was in Haiti, but I didn't know it was struggling because I thought that was the way of life. That was life. When I was a child, when I was a child, I thought that was the way you live until we move out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, when you move out and go around the country, everything is so different,
Yeah.
So, but when you think back, when I think back today, and these are those children, when I see them, and you know, the way they eat, the way they dress, and um, sometimes most of them don't even eat for 3 days, or don't even have fresh water. You know, even though I've been through that, is these are things that really, you know, kind of like give me a boost or encourage me to not take whatever I have, even though I think it's not enough, or I think it's too much, or I think it's nothing. It's still better than what they have. So it's not. I just don't want to make sure that I don't think anything for granted. It's really that really helped me out because I remember when I lost the title. It took me a good 2.5 years to digest. You know, it was affecting my life. It was affecting my personal life. It was doing me a lot of you know dragging me, like pulling me down the deep water where I couldn't even breathe or being happy. You know, and then when I started to visit those childrens and going to different states and different country, and especially back to Haiti, I'm asking myself, why am I so mad about you know why am I so mad about the loss, or the fact that I lost the title, when um, other people has bigger issues and you know serious issues than that. We're talking about mothers and fathers that lost their kids, their mother, or brothers and kids that got no parents, and I'm sitting here and acting like it's the end of the world
Title.
because I lost a title. So that really
Yeah.
put me into a corner me, should I say? It backed me to a corner and think about what's really important.
When I look at our brother Floyd, you know, a masterful boxer, a fantastic businessman, and one of the greatest in terms of what he's achieved in the sport, in terms of legacy and money made, and records broken. He made a statement a few years ago when he visited Africa. He said, um, "Africa's done nothing for me. When I was in my struggles and in my pain, Africa did nothing for me. Now I'm at the top of my game. Why am I going to give back to Africa? Africa did nothing for me. So why should I give to Africa? I'm not African." Can you relate to that in any way, shape, or form, Bermane? And listen,
Oh boy.
I mean, it's not to kind of put you in a spot. It's more the case of like, I don't know. I understand. I can understand what Floyd was saying, and I can actually get it. You know, only because of my bad experiences being in the Caribbean and some of the stuff the sort of prejudice I faced just being a Brit, of being born in the UK and not speaking with a native tongue.
I don't know. Everybody got their own answers, so I can't really speak for Floyd. So I really can't speak for him.
Okay. Let me let me.
He has his maybe he has his own personal relationship with Africa. I don't know at the time, or I don't know. I can't really speak on his answer.
Well, if somebody said that to you about Haiti, of course you would turn and say you've given and you're giving.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's we're talking about some a country that I was born to, and country that I'm trying to lift up.
Mm-hmm.
A country that I know I can't build the country by my own. But the little bit I could do to inspire somebody else, or you know other people to do the same. If I could start, the dance, and other people are following, and I think that's a plus.
Have you found other Haitians responding to that? I mean, guys like Berto and Stevenson and other maybe
Well, I mean, I'm pretty much trying to do my own thing. You
right.
know, it's always good to do your own thing because I'm not trying to wait on nobody.
Okay.
If I feel like I have to go and do something, I don't want to have to call anybody. And I feel like if I want to go back to Haiti and do something and do whatever I want to do, I feel like I just want to get up and go. And if it takes me to invite people or other fighters, or then I'll do that. But
Right.
I would like to do it my way and don't have to wait for nobody.
Is that through personal experience of situations that happened before? You think, you know what, it's better I do this myself because
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
there,
Exactly.
there's one thing about us, regardless of what part of the world we're in. There's a fundamental thing that unites us, whether it be having a meeting, getting punctual to a place on time. You tell a
Right.
man, be there 8 o'clock. My man's run up at 8:30, 8:45, and then look at you like
Exactly.
you're the person that's got the problem when you expect them to tell up 8 o'clock. Then yeah, it's all right.
Exactly.
It's just our own time. Listen, let's talk a bit about. Obviously, there's stuff going on tomorrow night with Takam and Mr. Joshua.
Yes.
Have you caught anything on that?
No, I've seen pictures. A couple of shake hands, and that's it.
Well,
That's all I see.
he's weighing his heaviest ever. I think it's on like 254 pounds.
Who?
Joshua, 254.
Oh, I mean, um, it's the weight is not really it's not really it's not really because I just realized something. I remember when I fought Ariola for the first time, I was 248,
Okay,
and when I fought him the second time, I was 238,
right.
and I felt better at 240 the first fight. I went and cut some more weight, dropped the weight, and I performed less. I was less active, or I was better the first fight
But you
than
knocked
the
him out in
second
the
one.
second fight, though. That don't make no sense.
Right, right. But if you look at the fight, I wasn't boxing the same way. I had a few shots here and there, but the way I felt. I'm talking about the way I felt the first fight and the way I felt the second fight. I was still in shape the second fight, but I'm just saying that the first fight, I really felt like it was me. I didn't take anything out of myself. I just,
Mm.
I was heavier. I was maybe 9 pounds heavier, but it didn't mean like I was not in shape. I was in shape, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's not in shape.
No,
Also,
but you and Joshua, with all due respect, have got two different body structures. I mean,
yeah.
you're what they call
What was his
the
weight usually? What was his weight
well,
usually? Like,
I think he's weighed 9 or 10 pounds heavier than he was when he fought Klitschko. So he was his heaviest ever when he fought.
maybe
His heaviest ever when he fought Klitschko the first time. So now he's even heavier than that.
maybe he put on some muscles.
Even
That
more
could be.
muscles.
You never know.
How much more muscles can you put on, Bermane? Muscles upon muscles.
I don't know, but I mean, I saw the weigh-in pictures. He doesn't look like he's. I thought the greatest he looked to me was when he fought Klitschko. That's the body wise, like face and everything. I thought his better the way he looked. He looked better when he fought Klitschko.
What are we talking about? I mean, I heard clips and people saying that he was trying to be lighter for this fight, which would make sense against someone like Takam, who's going to set a ferocious pace if he's allowed to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping that the weight that he put on is for the best, and
That's the
then they
thing.
know what they were doing. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that he didn't gain that weight when he realized that he wasn't fighting Pulev
Pulev.
and went and took him lightly. I don't know, but this is something that we shall
See,
find out tomorrow night.
I mean, have you ever had an experience being around Takam, or is that a guy that you've never worked with?
I never seen him. I
Never seen him
never,
before.
never,
But he,
never I saw him for. I saw him against Povetkin.
you mean Pedvetkin? Let's get it right.
Yeah,
Pedvetkin.
yeah,
Ped, Pedvetkin. So
yeah.
I can't call him Pov anymore. It's Ped. I mean, like,
You funny.
that's what I'll call him. Or Pop Vetkin, whichever one you call him, Pop or Ped. But I mean, he knocked Takam out. He was the first guy to knock Takam out. But he looked like the Incredible Hulk that night. He would have knocked anybody out that night,
Yeah,
Povetkin.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean, I
Well,
don't know.
I mean, I even Takum don't look. You look Takum look good. So I don't know. Like I said, man, we will find out what's what tomorrow night.
He's got nine. He's had 9 days to prepare. It's come out now. 9 days to prepare for Takam. Takam's had to prepare for Joshua.
Well, hopefully he was in the gym. Uh, 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 you know,
Is that enough time?
no, but hopefully before the call he was in the gym. You know, so that would help him. If he had 9 days from not doing nothing for a year or two, then that's a waste of time.
And Hellenius is fighting on the same night against Dillian White.
It's a good fight.
Who are you putting your money on?
Uh, I like Dylan White.
You like him?
Yeah,
All right.
he's a character. I I mess with Dylan. I like him because I mean everything he does, even though it's sometimes it's nonsense or it's a lot of. I think it's from the heart. It comes from the
Yeah.
heart. It's just him. I don't think he does anything extra. I think it's just who he is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I like him. Whether it's nonsense or good things, bad things, I just like people that do things from the heart, not to show off, not to. I like it.
Keep it real.
Yeah, exactly.
So okay, I'm gonna close, and I'm gonna close on that subject. That subject. Um, all over YouTube, there are pictures and videos of Bermane Stiverne loses temper with reporter. Bermane Stiverne pissed off by reporter. Bermane Stiverne loses at teleconference. Um,
I loses.
no, you lost it. Lost it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I
So,
didn't. I didn't lose it. It was just. I think you know what. I think when they have these kind of conference call, I think everybody that calls in should call with an ID, some kind of. Hey, this is like this. Hey, this is Bermane Stiverne. I am such such such, and my number is 005254. You
yeah.
know, because some reporters are really incompetent and very stupid to ask us certain kind of questions. So this man, for the people that didn't know, come and ask me, how can I say? And first of all, when I said that, what I said was Deontay. Even though I was sick, Deontay was not able to knock me out. And every punch he threw, I ate like breakfast. So this man come out of nowhere. How can you say that you ate everything like breakfast when he fought you with one hand and blah blah blah. So I just asked him, how do you know if he fought with one hand? He said because of the doctor report. Right, but we both had a doctor report. So what about my doctor report that says that I was sick and I was dehydrated? So I'm like, what are you saying? Like it's just people that's just really incompetent. And you clearly see that it was probably a reporter that's probably his brother or his cousins or or somebody that was in his camp.
Do you feel
you
this? Do
know,
you feel? Do you feel that there's an agenda against you? Almost that nobody wants to see Stiverne fight again. We saw the first fight. We saw Deontay Wilder use a jab and outbox him. Why do we have to see a replay of a guy that he's already been beaten? Do you get that vibe from people? What sort of vibe do you get from your end
what
of
it,
things?
you know, like I said, whatever they say, we shall find out next week. That's all I got to say. There's only one way to find out. I could tell you and sell you this fight. I could tell you what I'm going to do. I could tell you which round I think I would knock him out. I could tell you a bunch of things, but that don't matter. The only thing that matters is when the bell rings on November 4th, and we do it one more time. That's all that matters.
That
And
is all that matters. You can say what you want from now. He can say it was, but there's a few things that Wilder said this time round. I've scratched my head and thought, why did he say that? He sounds more like a preacher this time round than he did the first time round. He said
someone like
things
Don
like,
King.
well, he does. Things he said were like,
I thought it was my promoter that was on the phone.
he said things like, well, if another black man can benefit from being in the position that I'm in, all good luck to him. And if he can do this and that, and if he beats me, then I'm gonna retire. But I don't see him beating me, so I'm like,
The time is up. He knows it. They know it. Even what's his name? His promoter got a little nervous on the phone and said to the reporter, or the question that should have been asked was, "How comes Taverne got this position and this and that?" They're all nervous. They're all nervous. They all know it's a dangerous fight, which is a dangerous fight for Wilder. And they all know the time is clicking. They all know. Everybody knows. He knows I wasn't 100% that night. He knows. They all know. You see what I'm saying? So when people get nervous, they trying to play both sides of the fence. So he come out and say, first he said that boxing don't do him good. How does boxing don't do you good? You have the most the biggest belt in boxing, which is the green belt, that's recognized by everybody, and boxing don't do you good. I don't understand. You have 5, 6 title defense. Boxers is not doing you good. You the heavyweight world champion of the world, and boxers is not doing you good. Whatever he's going through is whatever he's going through, and unfortunately, recess will be over November 4th.
you seem to have great confidence in yourself, and I'm sure you know what
All
you've got
right,
to do.
because the first fight I saw everything, even though I was sick or whatever. You know what? He won the first fight. I'm gonna stop saying the thing about me being sick. He beat me. He beat me the first fight. All glory to him. You know, long live the king. This is a different fight. That was then. This is now. Right now, I'm 110%, and this will be a totally different fight. And I promise you.
Is
Everybody's
it?
saying the way. Did you see how Wilder talk at the interview? He's so much different from the first fight. The first
Hmm.
fight he came out and he was going to crucify me on the cross. And this one he's talking about quitting and crying on the phone and preaching the word of God and talking about politics and the white man and so obviously the boy is confused. But I didn't hear the conversation because as soon as they changed the subject, I hung up the phone. So I can't really tell you, and I'm not interested to know what was said. Only thing I'm interested is November 4th.
He says the other thing is he said he couldn't understand why you and him have well you've got such hatred towards him. He says he's got no hatred towards you. Like he wants to kind of keep things on a kind of you know.
Right. Okay. So go back 3 years ago, before the first fight, and hear him talk and hear him say how much he hate me. You see what I'm saying? And now he's in a peaceful place, like he said he is. And you know, it's all cinema. It's all a show.
So you actually
But
think
it
there's
is
still
what it is.
you still think there's bad feeling between you and him, or is the bad feeling still from you, or is that all gone now?
You know what? At this point, I don't know. I have the fight. I don't have any. I have one task to take care of. Is to beat him and take my title back. It was not so much of a hate. It was just that they knew at the time I deserved a rematch, which they never gave me a rematch. And I told you, if you remember, years ago, I told you the only way that he will fight me is if he has to fight me. This would never happen if I wasn't mandatory,
Would this
and that's the
happen if?
only way.
But I know you brought Prince on board, and you and Prince have been together for years. But I mean, do you think that's Prince has been a key point of you being able to get this fight again as quickly as you have?
You don't remember telling me that you heard about Prince that he makes shit happens?
Yes.
Well, he makes shit happens. And I told you when they announced the fight with him and Ortiz, I told you this fight will not happen. It will not happen, and I was right. It's not happening. I
And
told you that,
all
and that's
that
the reason
time.
why, and that's the reason why I moved. I moved and I decided to take the step aside or whatever because I knew it was not going to happen. When I said that, I said, you know what? Let me move out of the way and watch. It's not going to happen, and I'm gonna end up fighting Deontay. That's exactly what I said, and that's exactly what happened.
So when you were training for Dominic Brazil, did you have Wilds at the back of your mind? Do you still have Wilds at your front of your mind? And do you think Wilds a better
In
fighter
front
than
of my
Brazil?
mind, in front of my mind, I was training for Wilder, not Brazil. Never
Dang.
one time. And you can ask anybody in my camp. The whole time I'm telling them, listen, we getting ready for Wilder.
Dang. Wow. But you've been preparing since last year, haven't you, for Wilder? I mean, you've been
I've
training
been
like
the last 2 years, 2.5 years.
almost yeah, every day.
People want
You're in
people
the
want to
gym
say
training.
my inactivity and this and that. Well, you know what? I'm well rested. I am well rested. People want to say, "Oh, he's not been active or whatever." No, I'm fully rested. You know, I'm good. I am. I feel good. I feel great. The fight with Rossi is not a fight I should have took. My mind, my state of mind was not there. I just took the fight just to take the fight. Not that I was not in shape physically, but I wasn't there mentally. So I was still bitter about the belt that I lost.
I mean, you've elaborated
So
that even more so now today than you ever have elaborated on the fact of what was going on in your life, you know, leading up to the rematch. I mean,
right,
we sat here and we were talking. I mean, I go back and look at some of the videos where you talked about getting the mandatory shot and how excited you were about it. That was in February after Wilder just beaten Areola.
yeah.
And then we had the Ortiz fight come up. People talk about him and Ortiz. And we're here in
Yeah.
November. Did you think that in November you'd be fighting Wilder in your wildest dreams, or did you think it'd be next year?
No, I always thought it was going to be before the end of the year. I thought it was going to be December. That's what I thought.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. So do you look back at your amateur career and your professional career to this point and think, this is it?
I was
This
just doing that for the past 2 days. It's funny. The last 2 days, till this morning, I got up this morning early. I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was just on my phone and going through my amateur days and my earlier my professional career, like earlier, 2005, 2006. You know, I had a yeah, I had a good career. I can't complain. Like I said, I can't be ungrateful or take everything for granted.
And the one other thing I want to ask you before you go, in terms of the sparring sessions, how hard have those sparring sessions been for you at the age that you are now? How hard have they been for you, or how hard have you been
No,
pushed?
not hard. The the thing that I would say that it probably changed about me. I do the same workouts, maybe more intense. Is the rest. I probably need more rest than before. You know, that's the only difference. Maybe because pushing, I'm pushing more, or the workouts are more intense. But in terms of my age or whatever, I don't feel anything. I haven't even got into wars in my career. I think 28 fights. Never been maybe what 2 fights that I've been, you know, supposedly in war, or I haven't been, you know, I haven't had any a lot of tough fights like other fighters, you know. So I feel great. I feel good. Um, I don't. Nothing was, hard. Of course, when you don't spar, like I haven't sparred since what? Since December, last December for the Russia fight. And when I got back into it, it was like maybe 2 months ago when I started sparring these guys from South Africa and RoboCup that came. You know, so that was like my first sparring in like 8 months. So was it hard? It wasn't hard. It was just off. I wasn't sharp, but
And and now,
I'm sharp. Sharp as a razor.
and in terms of your sharpness now, when you compare your sharpness now to then,
Sharper
in percentages,
compares to
think Bermane's phone may have just cut out there. I think his phone may have cut out. It might have gone dead. He might be resetting the phone. I don't know. See my man Blood Boxing in the room. Shout out to Blood Boxing. We'll wait until Bermane comes back. Mr. Boxing today. Sorry, I can't hear the audio. I know it stopped. It's frozen. I don't know quite what happened. It might be connection from Bermane's end. It wasn't really an interview. As I said, it was just more of a talk between two guys who've known each other a long while. That's all it was. So, yeah, I think we've lost Bermane here. He might have gone. Let me find out and see if I can get him back. He might have gone. It could be the battery. He did say the battery was low. So, I'll tell you now. Looks like he's off. He could be off altogether. Because he said this phone was freezing last time round. So, I'll check and see. Yeah, battery might be dead. Right. What I'd like, I haven't got much time in, but I'm going to try and get 2 men in the room if I can get them in. Let me see if I can get the two guys in the room. Mr. Boxing today and Blood Boxing. Is there some way I can get you two brothers in the room? It would be fantastic to have you in the room. I think Bermane may have left us. I think his connection may have gone. So if we can get you two guys in the room, it would be brilliant. But I have got an interview. I'll be talking to a man. I'll be talking to a guy from Philadelphia. His name is Ray Robinson. He fought Sean Porter. He just finished getting a good win over Breeders Prescott. So where's Mr. Blood Boxing? Is there some way I can send you a send a link? We've got another interview of Ray Robinson in about 15 minutes time. So I'm conscious of that as well. Is Chris Mason in the room as well? Is Chris Mason in the room as well? Let me see. Got quite a few people in this room. Whoa. Didn't realize there's so many people in the room. I think Bermane's gone. I think he's left the room. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to end this for now. I think his phone might have died. It's a shame. And what I'm going to do is switch over and bring in Ray Robinson. And maybe when I talk to Ray Robinson, I can get some other guys in the room as well. So I've got Ray Robinson in about a few minutes. He's from Philadelphia. I'll be talking to him. And then we'll take it from there. I really would love to have you guys in the room, though. James, no, he hasn't joined Box Nation. He was just in the Box Nation room. He hasn't joined Box Nation, though. If I send a link later, Blood Boxing and Blood Boxing and Mr. Boxing today, I'll send you guys a link. I don't know how I'm going to send it to you, Blood Boxing. If you could send me an email address, Bloodboxing, then I'll be able to send you a link so you can get in the room as well. Right, I'll be back in about 5 minutes, and I'll be back with Ray Robinson, the man from Philadelphia, the welterweight from Philly, wants to make a name for himself. Okay, Blood, if you can send me your email address, just tweet me out an email address, or just send me an email address here, or I don't know where you can put an email address really. If you can send me your address, GJ Slick in the room. All right, and we can all talk. Let me get Ray Robinson in the room, and I'll be back. I'll be back in 5-10 minutes with Ray Robinson. Speak to you soon.